Sir, to please present on the stage for the judgment of the session. So we are starting Raj Harkut PG Award paper. I would like to request Dr. Anshul for her. Is she there? Okay. For her presentation.
A very good morning to the esteemed judge present here and everyone present in the audience. I am Dr. Anshul. I am going to be presenting my paper on a clinical study of epistaxis in a tertiary care hospital. Epistaxis refers to the bleeding from nose or the nasal cavity. It's a very prevalent and urgent condition which can very rapidly escalate into severity. Most of the nosebleeds are spontaneous, self-limiting, and do not require any urgent management, and they can be very well controlled by simple non-surgical measures, but sometimes it can be very recurrent and hence proper management is required. The aim is to study the etiological factors and management of epistaxis in a tertiary care center. The objectives are to identify the patients with epistaxis, to take their complete history, to find out the cause, and then to treat the cause. This is a prospective, observational, and interventional study done on 100 patients that came to the tertiary care center with a complaint of epistaxis and were willing to participate in the study and fulfill the study criteria. The study duration was of 18 months. Talking about the eligibility criteria, all the epistaxis patients that came for management in the tertiary care center and were willing to participate in the study were considered within the study, while who were not giving consent to be included were excluded from the study. Also, all the cases of drug-induced epistaxis and patients who had coagulopathies which were causing the epistaxis were excluded from our study. Talking about the methodology, proper history of the patient were taken regarding their demographic data, their personal history, the family history, any history of the similar episodes in the past. And general and systemic examination was done thoroughly. ENT examination was done very thoroughly. Epistaxis is not a disease, but a mere sign. Hence, thorough investigations have to be done to rule out any cause that can lead to it and to rule out other causes. Proper blood investigations like hemogram, type, cross match, HIV, HPS, AGA, liver function test, kidney function test, whole coagulation profile has to be done. You cannot ignore these investigations. Computer tomography of paranasal sinuses, if indicated, should be done. The patients were managed by three approaches, either medical management, non-surgical management, or the surgical management. These are some of the causes that I encountered during my study that were causing epistaxis. In the first one, you can see there's a sharp spur which is indenting on the right inferior turbinate that was causing the epistaxis. This endoscopic picture was taken after the decongestion, hence you cannot clearly see the congestion. But yes, this is the second picture showing the dilated vessels present at the little area, which was the cause of epistaxis in this particular patient. This is a hemangioma present on the left inferior turbinate, which was causing epistaxis, and this is a picture of papilloma that was the cause in this particular patient. Talking about the results, as you can see very clearly here, the patients ranging from the age group of 20 to 40 years were the most common that suffered from epistaxis, followed by the age group 60 to 70. Clearly, there is a male predominance here. Now, talking about the site of epistaxis, 90% of the patients had anterior epistaxis, rest of the 10% has posterior epistaxis. And out of the 90%, 72% had epistaxis from the Little's area, that is the anterior nasal septum. Talking about the etiology of epistaxis, as you can see very clearly, trauma is the main etiology that was found in my study that caused epistaxis, followed by hypertension. Rest other minor causes were atmospheric changes, acute rhinitis, nasal myiasis, and others. Now, epistaxis was managed by two procedures, either surgical or non-surgical. Clearly, most of the cases were managed by the non-surgical measures only. In the non-surgical measures, most of the patients were managed by anterior packing. Some were managed by medical management. Sometimes there was a combination of both medical management as well as anterior packing, or medical management along with the posterior packing. Here you can see anterior nasal packing being done in a patient for epistaxis. This is a picture of showing posterior nasal packing done with a Foley's catheter. As you can see here, it is tied on the columella. Talking about the surgical management was done according to the cause that was leading to epistaxis. For example, local cauterization was done for any bleeding point that we were able to locate at the septum. Most commonly it was the Little's area. Endoscopic septoplasty was done for any DNS or spur that was causing the epistaxis. Functional endoscopic sinus surgery was done for any sinonasal tumor that was causing epistaxis like JNA or hemangioma. SPA cauterization, it was the last resort that was opted for controlling epistaxis. This is a picture showing cauterization with a bipolar cautery at the Little's area. It was done after applying local anesthesia. This is a video of showing SPA sphenopalatine artery cauterization at the sphenopalatine foramen. As you can see here, after raising the flap, this is the artery coming out from the sphenopalatine foramen, and now the cauterization has been done. You can either cauterize the artery or you can either ligate it. You can do it either way. Talking about the discussion in the present study, most of the cases of epistaxis were patients presented in the third or fourth decade, followed by the 60th decade. Trauma was found out to be the most common cause in my study, followed by hypertension. In the younger people, trauma was the most common cause, while in the elderly, hypertension was the cause. Trauma was the most common cause in our study, which was consistent with the findings in the Moran et al. Also, while hypertension as the second most common cause was consistent with the findings of the Adoga et al. Study. Non-surgical procedures very well managed epistaxis in more than 80% of the cases, and most common site of bleeding was anterior septum, that is Little's area only. These findings are consistent with the findings of Varshney et al. Surgical management was only and only reserved for the patients who could not be managed with the medical measures or the non-surgical measures. To conclude my study, I would like to say that sometimes this minuscule condition of mere bleeding from the nose can cause very devastating effects on the patient. These cannot be taken lightly. These should not be ignored. Ignorance is not always a bliss. The management of epistaxis can be done very well by firstly resuscitating the patient, evaluating the patient, resuscitating the patient, finding out the site of epistaxis, controlling the bleeding, and then find out the cause and treating it. In our setting, in my study, trauma was the most common cause leading to epistaxis. Hence, the most common cause for trauma was road traffic accident. Hence, reducing the incidence of road traffic accidents will lead to decrease in the incidence of epistaxis in my case. Epistaxis is a very prevalent condition. Everyone should be aware about it. They should know the basic first aid and urgent management that they can do on their own, and they should realize when they should reach for the proper management. Thank you.
In your case,
Yes, sir.
about 100 cases, tertiary care center.
Yes, sir.
What coagulopathy investigation you have done?
So we had done a prothrombin time and BTCT bleeding time, clotting time, APTT. These all the investigations were done to rule out any coagulopathy. Also, if any deranged liver functions, if for example in a chronic alcoholic patients or patients with chronic kidney disease, any deranged findings were there, we rule out them also in suspicion of coagulopathies.
You mentioned about cauterization.
Yes,
What cauterizing agent you used for cauterization?
So electrical cauterization with bipolar cautery. Cauterization could be done with chemical cauterization or electrical also, but we did only electrical cauterization.
Okay. ठीक है.